everyone, I want to talk to you today about foundations. I'm very, very particular about the way I put foundations on, and when I train my students and I show people how to do this, I do it in a very certain way. What I like to do is I like to match the foundation to the collarbone area, because what happens is the face, the neck, and the chest area can be 3 different colors depending on if you're wearing sunscreen or if it's the winter and you're covered up to here and your face is a little darker because of the elements. So I usually determine what formulation I'm going to use depending on my model's skin. This is Shauna. She has absolutely beautiful skin. She's got just a slight bit of redness in the center of her face and then just a little bit of purple under the eyes. So we're going to keep the skin really, really clean, and I'm going to go with the Makeup HDs and just put a teeny bit on. So here we go. I'm going to take just a little bit of the number 120, and then I've already got a little bit of the number 127, and these are the 2 colors that I decided to mix together. I'm going to mix them together and very lightly just put a few dabs around the face. Turn the face in. There you go. And turn it the other way. There we go. And now close your eyes. You don't want to forget to put foundation on the eyelids, because what happens is a lot of people forget to do that, and then there's nothing that the eyeshadow can adhere to. So I'm going to go ahead with my brush here, and I'm going to, because I want to keep this super light, I'm just going to buff it into her skin very, very gently. I think when you're trying to do a really, really natural foundation look, this is the best brush to use. I also like to use makeup sponges as well, because those keep it really, really natural too. I find that a lot of artists out there that aren't professionally trained put the foundation on way too heavy, and it's a little bit old school. You really want to keep it modern and fresh, and you can go ahead and bring out the eyes, but keep the skin really, really light and fresh. And with the formulations of makeup right now and foundations, they've gotten so much better than they were 10, even 20 years ago, that it's really easy to do. When I first started out, we pretty much put a mask all over someone's face, and they had super, super heavy foundation. So those days are gone, thank goodness. And you can stick with your lighter silicone base. So I'm just gonna mix up a little bit more foundation. And what I'm going to do is put your chin up. I'm going to go ahead and bring it down her neck, just like that. And just blend that in. And when I'm blending this, I like to do it in a buffing motion like this, a round buffing motion. If you go up and down like this, it can get a little streaky. So you really just want to very, very gently push this into the skin. And just on a note, if it starts to kind of dry up a little bit with water, and do not forget the jawline. This is my biggest pet peeve for foundation, where it just stops at the jawline and then you can see the line, so you really want to make sure to get that in there. Okay, so let's take a peek. So there you go. It's very simple, very pretty coverage, and now what I'm going to do is come in with another formulation of makeup and just address the inner part of her face, which I think needs a little bit more attention. So with the small brush like this, it's a concealer brush, I'm going to pick, this is the Graftobian palette, this is the Glamour Cream palette, and I love this palette because it is so soft and silky, this makeup. You can put it on as light as you want, you can also put it on, layer it up to get it a little bit heavier, and I'm going to pick the combination of the 2nd and the 3rd colors. Shawn is a little bit on the paler side, but what I want to do is make her just a little bit warmer. So I'm going to go ahead, take those, work it into my hand, and then just bring it down the center of her face. Look up, and just under the eyes as well. And now this, I'm going to take my buffing brush, I'll buff it down the nose, and once we get to the under eyes, I really like to start using my fingers. Some people are a little strange with makeup artists using their fingers on their face. However, if you're like this one, if your hands are clean, it's really the best tool to use, especially around the eyes, because you really need to get in there and go ahead and make that look up as natural as possible and get as much coverage as you can. There's nothing worse than having really thick, unblended concealer under the eye where you can start to see the wrinkles and things, especially with more mature women. You want to really be careful to get in there and blend it with your finger, and also blending it with your finger will help to kind of push it into the skin a bit and not help it to kind of lay there. It softens it up a teeny bit. Okay, good. Let's see. Excellent. So I think that looks really pretty. That's all I want to do. It looks like Shauna. It looks like her skin. It's just a nice canvas for us to start and go ahead and put the rest of the foundation on. And there's just one more thing I want to do, and that is just grab a little bit of concealer. So I've got this concealer palette right here. It's by Kryolan, and it's a Dermacolor concealer palette. It's a little bit heavier than the Graftobian that we just used, and I'm just going to take a dab of this kind of yellow base. It's called number 3, and I'm just going to come just into the tear duct part of the eye right here. So just look up where I think she needs just a little bit extra coverage, and I'm just going to push that into her skin like that, and that's going to brighten this area up. And the yellow base is going to warm up the under eye, so if you've got any kind of purple or pink tones under your eyes, it's going to go ahead and give it a nice warmer look to the under eyes. So look up one more time. And one more thing about concealers, please do not bring it all the way out here. There's no reason to have concealer out here unless someone has really kind of discolored skin or maybe some kind of hyperpigmentation or something. You really want to keep it to the area of the eye that needs it, which is just this tear duct area. And as soon as I get this set, look into the camera. I think that looks really, really perfect. Let's set it with the powder, and then we're going to go on to our next video where we're going to start putting the makeup on. So in my powder kits, I like to carry 3 colors. I like to carry a banana color powder. You always want to have something that's got a little bit of yellow base in it, because if someone's on the pale side and you need to warm them up, you're going to want to add the yellow. I carry a translucent, and I also carry a darker color. Even with the darker colors, I sometimes don't use them on just women of color. I'll use them as a bronzing powder or a contour. So you always want to have at least 3 colors in your kit. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to put the translucent right now on Shauna's face, and I'm going to take a little bit with the big brush like this. It's exactly the same stipple brush that I used to put the foundation on. I'm going to pat it into my hand. You always want to work it into your hand a little bit. Close your eyes, and then just lightly buff it onto the skin. I can't tell you how important it is to put powder on, and any of my students that know me, I tell them, if you don't put powder on someone, then you might as well not even put the makeup on, because it's just going to slide right off the skin. And you want to keep it as close to the skin color or as translucent as possible, because what we've just done is we've just worked on getting their skin beautiful and matched. So you don't want to come in with the powder that's too different of a color, put it on, look up, and then all of a sudden you've got a totally different skin color. Close your eyes. Don't forget to powder the lids. Close your eyes. And then also with the smaller brush, what I do is come in and look up and get right under there and set the bottom of this eye. If you don't set the bottom of the eye quickly, what's going to happen is the lines are going to form, the makeup's going to settle in, and then if you go to set it after that, it's already too late. It's too late to set it. So there we go. We have her beautiful foundation done. She looks very natural. And now we're going to go on and do some eye makeup.